Hi everyone, I'm Scott Lamb, your joint pain specialist in San Jose, California. And today we're going to be talking about the rotator cuff, and we're going to go over exactly what is the rotator cuff muscles, how do they function, what are they doing, and then how to rehabilitate it. And unfortunately it's going to take multiple phases. This isn't a quick fix solution here, okay? It's going to take some time and some commitment. But without further ado, let's get to the body. Hey everyone, okay, so here we are looking at phase 1 out of 3 when it comes to rehabilitating the rotator cuff, okay? We're going to start off with a lot of mobility exercises, and we're going to have a total of 8 of them. These are all going to be done daily, and we're going to try to do multiple sets. Now, just so you know, if it feels like more than one set is too much, then just stick with one. And if it feels like your body's kind of beat up or it's a little too sore the next day, then skip a day. Okay, so ideally we're doing 3 sets of 10 of all these different movements every single day. But if it's too stressful, then you can back it off to even as minimal as once a week if necessary, okay? But the goal is definitely to try to do it daily. So if it turns out that only doing 1 set a day is all that you can do, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go ahead and look at the muscles of the rotator cuff. What is the rotator cuff? Okay. So the rotator cuff are these what we call local muscles. You have local muscles and then you have global muscles. Okay, local muscles are the ones that are closest to the joint. Okay. Now the rotator cuff, it's basically kind of like fingers that are grabbing a hold of your arm, okay, the head of your humerus, and just holding on tight. And its job is to make sure that it just stays right there in that joint so it doesn't leave or anything like that and get injured, okay? And let's see, so your rotator cuff, let's see if we can do multiple of these. This one right here, your subscapularis. This one right here, your teres major. Let's see. Anyway, yep, your supraspinatus. Okay. This over here. Your infraspinatus. And then your teres minor. Those are your main rotator cuff muscles, okay? But these muscles here, okay, the bicep brachii, long head and short head, they see how they interact and they come in and they can act as a rotator cuff also. They're not technically a rotator cuff, your coracobrachialis, but they are a muscle that can act as if it is a rotator cuff. But technically speaking, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 muscles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. 4, 5, yeah. These 5 muscles are technically your rotator cuff muscles, okay? So their job is to make sure that that humeral head stays inside the shoulder joint, okay? Now they do also do other things like the subscapularis. Its best movement that it does, besides just keeping it stable in the joint, is internal rotation. So rotating your arm internally, okay? But there's a lot of other muscles that can help with that, but that's the fine motor skill that it works on. Let's see, we need to select these. The supraspinatus, this top one right here, what it does, you see how it attaches and come across here? It helps out with the first 15 degrees of bringing your arm out, away from your arm. And then once it gets into that 15 degrees, it kind of locks that arm into the joint, and then your deltoid does the rest of the work, okay? Then, let's see, deselect. Then, right here, your teres major, its main function actually is to help out with the lat and actually bring your arm back, okay, reaching in extension, so reaching behind you. It doesn't do very much movement, but that's what it does. It helps out with that. And then your teres minor and your infraspinatus, oops,
multi-silk, that's what I'm looking for. Right here, teres minor and the infraspinatus, it helps with external rotation. So that's its main movement. Besides its main responsibility, all of these, their main responsibility is to stabilize this bone, okay, the humerus, the humeral head, and keep it right where it's supposed to be and not pop out. All right, so it's a pretty important set of muscles there.
Hey everyone, just a quick interruption on the video. I want to just ask you to give the video a like so that other people can see what it is that I'm trying to teach. You know, my goal here is to just help people find relief. So if you wouldn't mind, please give the video a like so that YouTube algorithms can understand that it's a good video and that more people will be able to get some help. All right, thanks a lot. Let's get back to the video.
All right, so let's go back to the exercise routine and start with phase number 1. What are we talking about here? Okay, so this one is the pendulum exercise, okay? And just like a pendulum where it's just kind of like swinging back and forth and around, that's what this is. This is step 1 of your body getting things warmed up. This is an activation exercise. This is a mobility exercise. And it's very, very beneficial, especially in the very beginning after having an injury and getting the joint moving again. Okay, so if there's pain, like sharp shooting pain, then we don't want to be doing this exercise. We don't want to be doing anything. We need to let the joint heal and recover. Okay, so once that sharp shooting pain goes away, then it's okay to start feeling dull, achy type of pain. We want to kind of like push it through to that kind of like dull, achy type of sensation. If you start feeling sharp shooting, you're going too far and you're like re-injuring the joints. Okay, so this one, just like a pendulum, is going to be just hanging there. Now you don't necessarily have to use a heavy weight. Okay, very light. You can even use like a can of beans or something like that, green beans or whatever you have at the house. Okay, it doesn't have to be a weight. But you want to start out kind of light. I would say, just like what the description says here, 1 to 5 pounds. Okay, so what you do is you get yourself in a position. You want to keep your core tight just so you can protect your spine, your back, and everything. Neck is in a neutral position. You shouldn't feel any kind of stress or anything like that. This should be a comfortable, easy position to get into. Okay, then using something for support. Okay, here we have examples using a chair. You can use a table. You can use a couch. You can use whatever. Counter space, doesn't matter. Arms are going to be hanging, and then you're going to try to just relax that shoulder and let gravity kind of like pull everything. Okay, there's no such thing as being able to relax a joint, but let gravity try to pull and get the muscles contracting in this position. Okay, then all you're going to do is you're going to kind of like shake your body in a way where it starts allowing the arm to swing forward and back. Okay, to in front of you, to behind your shoulder, in front of the shoulder, behind your shoulder, okay? And you're going to do that for about 10 repetitions, okay? Then you're going to let it swing side to side for about 10 repetitions. Then you're going to let it swing clockwise for 10 rotations, and then counterclockwise for 10 rotations. All while trying to relaxing and using letting gravity do most of the work. Okay, let's watch the video to see how this is all done. Okay, see how shaking the body? So not using the shoulder itself to actually do the motion, okay? We're actually, the body is causing the movement and letting gravity doing all the work. Okay, and now you can see the circles going around, clockwise, then stopping it and going counterclockwise, okay? Very simple. We're going to be doing 3 sets of 10. And I think it's 30 seconds in between each one. Yeah, and that 30 seconds is between each set, okay? Now this next one is assisted, okay, assisted external rotation. Now laying down on your back, it's ideal to be in a stable surface, so the floor, a table, whatever. You don't want to be doing this on your bed, unfortunately, because the bed will shift and change your posture, and you can't have that, all right? So laying on a flat, hard surface is ideal. You can have a pillow here to support your head and everything. Now, this is assisted, okay, external rotation, right? So the starting position is here. We call this a 90-degree elbow bend, okay? And then your shoulders are going to be relaxing on the floor, okay, being comfortable here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use your shoulder to rotate, Okay, now, notice the position here at the elbow. It's right here. Elbow stays the same. Okay, now it can feel like the elbow kind of like slides away, but it really doesn't slide away unless you're like pushing it out. So really make sure you're not doing that. You want to think about it coming from this shoulder joint, this humeral head, right? Just like on right here, okay? This spot right here, this, again, this is, see the muscles where they're attached to, external rotators, right here, they're attached here, and they attach to your scapula, right, your shoulder blade, all right? So this is the primary muscle that's going to be doing the external rotation. So this is what you're wanting to think about using from this attachment point right here, and then they come in and they attach here to the base of this scapula right here, and then to the inside part of the scapula right through here, and then they also attach right here. Basically this whole, they attach like right on the back of your shoulder blade, okay, all of it right through here, all right? So you want to think about from here to the joint, you know, it's in order to contract, the muscle has to shorten, right? That's what causes the pulley system in your joint, in your body, to rotate the limb, right? So you want to think about, as you're rotating out the arm, that these muscles are shortening, that this right here, from here and here, this attachment point is pulling it towards the edge of the shoulder blade, okay? And that's what's going to cause that rotation, all right? Let's see. Now, it's assisted. So the unusing arm, which is this arm right here, okay, is holding onto it. You're going to rotate with the arm as far as you comfortably can, but you're going to use this to kind of like help push and get a little bit of extra range if possible, just a little bit, okay? Kind of like a little turbo, excuse me, little turbo boost to push out just a little bit, all right? Let's check out the video, see how it's all done. And when you get to the end range, you can hold it for a couple seconds. The longest you're going to want to hold it for is probably about 6. The most bang for your buck is 6 seconds, but doing at least at 1-2 while flexing there and holding that position and getting a little bit extra of a push is going to be more beneficial for increasing range of motion and actually increasing some stability there. Okay? So now we're going to do assisted flexion here. Okay? So this one is about opening up your shoulder blade and getting things moving. Okay? This will actually go with more of your serratus muscle, which isn't associated with the rotator cuff specifically, but it's there to help stabilize your scapula, which is also part of strengthening your rotator cuff. Okay. Let's see. So you're gonna be laying down comfortably again. Knees are bent. Again, just being comfortable. Pillow will be on the head if you want to. So the involved arm is this one. You're going to be reaching back, trying to kind of like stretch that shoulder blade back, that arm back as far as you comfortably can go. And you're going to be using your armpit muscle, you're going to be using your deltoid a little bit, basically everything in the arm right there to try to get that movement. Now what gets that popping angle is that serratus at the very end. Okay, so you're going to be using a bunch of other stuff until the very end, so it's really important to try to get as far as you possibly can with this one. Then this uninvolved arm, okay, which is this left one on this example, just like with the external rotation, is adding a little bit of pressure to try to push it a little bit further, feeling the armpit kind of like contracting and doing something right at the very end. Okay, let's check out the video, see how it's done. Arm is reaching back, stretching your arm back as far as you can, and then right there at that very end where that tips, that's where you want to add a little bit of extra pressure and feeling it right in that armpit there, kind of contracting and helping at the very end. You're going to be using your whole arm, the shoulder's going to be working and everything, but you want to just know at the very end, you want to feel this contracting a little bit, okay, right in that armpit area, okay? Holding it there for at least 2 seconds at the very end, up to 6. Again, best bang for your buck is up to 6 seconds, but as long as it's at least 2, that's going to be beneficial. Okay. Bilateral shoulder flexion. So same kind of movement, just doing it together at the same time, bilateral, doing both sides, okay? Oh, by the way, with the one arm stuff, you're going to want to do definitely the injured one, but you do want to spend at least, one set on the stronger one to make sure that you you learn how it's supposed to feel on the uninjured side, and just making sure you're maintaining good balances. Okay, but doing bilateral here on this one, the same type of movement that you're going to do. Little tip here, a little cheat that's not listed on here on the written description and everything, is actually you want to think about trying to pull the arms out. Okay, not a ton of force, like maybe 5 pounds worth of force at the most, but a nice little flexion out, and that will just engage a lot of your shoulder muscles and also your core muscles a little bit, and then maintain that pressure as you reach back. Okay, that's just gonna do a lot of muscular activation. That's going to improve the contractile control and actually getting more of the right muscles flexing to help with this range of motion movement. Okay, so comfortably laying on your back. If you want to use a pillow, you may. Shoulders are going to stay. Shoulder blades are going to stay on the floor, and then all you're doing is just reaching back as far as you can. At the very end, you should feel that armpit flexing and that shoulder blade kind of tipping. That's going to be the goal, bringing it all the way down to the floor. Okay, but again, dull, achy pains are okay. Sharpshooting, not okay. You're re-injuring the problem. Okay, so only go into the range of motion that is at most dull and achy. No sharpshooting pains, ranges of motion. Okay, so if you can't go all the way to the floor, that's okay. Step one, right? You could be doing this for the next 4 weeks or even longer. All right. Let's check out the video, see how it's done. Reaching back, holding it for a 2 count to the very bottom, up to 6. Again, best bang for your buck is going to be holding it for that 6 seconds. But again, making sure that you're just feeling that popping with the armpit area. Okay? All right. Exercise number 5. Assisted abduction. Okay? Abduction. That is going away from the body. Adduction, is going towards the body, the midline of the body. Okay, so this is going away. Now, if we go far enough, it will go towards the body, right? But the initial movement is away from the body. But because the arm is attached and we want to keep it attached, it will eventually come towards the body. Okay, so again, being comfortable. The whole point here is kind of like do an angel wing thing. You're starting here down low, and you're going to just swing your leg up to the side, and then this is here to help try to keep a long position, trying to reach all the way up to this end point right here on this side here. Okay, the goal is to make sure that the forearm stays on the floor the whole time, and you're just sliding it up and to the top, just like this. Okay, the assisted uninvolved side, this arm right here, is just helping apply force to see if you can go a little bit further whenever it gets to that stop end position. Okay, again, holding it for at least 2 seconds is ideal at the very end. 1, 2. The longest you're going to want to hold is about 6 seconds. I find it's more beneficial to hold it for 6 seconds as long as you're holding that pause as if you're trying to push it a little bit further. Okay, that little turbo boost with the assisted arm and that application of force to try to bring it up a little bit further is what's going to help actually increase range of motion and make it more stable and stronger, which then increases range of motion. Okay, the reason why a joint has limited range is because there's weaknesses. The only way that you can increase range is by making it stronger. Okay, that's the reality with our body. If we have limited ranges of motion, it's because there's weaknesses. It's not because there's something's not too strong. Well, there are muscles that are really strong. There's just other muscles that are just really weak. Okay. Seated flexion table slides. Okay. So just as the description. Okay. You're in a seated position. Okay. And step 1. Eventually, we'll graduate doing this on the wall. But first, seated. Then all you're going to do is core nice and tight, and you're going to lean your body forward as you push that arm from a 90-degree position right here. Now just make sure that you're at a position where your shoulder isn't like elevated. Okay, so you don't want to be elevated up. So if you have to slide your arm out a little bit, that's just what you're going to have to do. Okay, or you can like lift your seat up even higher and be on books or something. Okay, but you don't want to have that shoulder blade, elevated. You want to just keep it in a neutral position, and then all you're going to do is just lean forward, just like this end goal right here, while extending your arm as far forward as you possibly can, trying to lengthen that shoulder past your ear. Okay? Holding for a 2 count at the end, at least up to 6 seconds. Again, I feel like it's, or I see better results if people are holding for about 6 seconds while trying to extend and pull. Again, remember, only work in a range of motion that you're feeling dull, achy pain at the most. Okay, any kind of sharp shooting, you're going too far, and your body's not prepared for that yet. All right, so just work in the range that's comfortable, where it's at most dull and achy. All right. So next on the list, okay, pulley flexion. All right, this one is a little complicated. You can use like a rope, you can use a band. I find that using a resistance band is actually a little bit easier. They usually come with a door nylon piece that you can close in there and have it run through the tubing. Okay, but anything works. Okay, so if you have a pulley system, a rope, or something like that you can use, then that's ideal. The arm that's going to be working is actually the one closest to the door. Okay, so you start in this down position, arm is straight. Then, as you're with your arm straight, lifting against gravity, which is much more challenging than going with gravity, right? As you're leaning forward, doing that table slide, arm is straight, and you're bringing it up to the ceiling. So this arm right here, okay, that's starting at the top, is going to assist by pulling down to help out lift the arm up and to decrease the amount of weight that your arm is having to lift on its own. Okay, your arm weighs something, and if you have a rotator cuff injury, it's going to be pretty weak to try to lift your arm up above your head. So using this as an assistant, this pulley system to assist to bring it up and raise it above your head, that's what it's there for. Okay, so ideally you're using your whole shoulder and you're bringing it up on your own, but this is here to help assist it and decrease the amount of weight that your arm has to lift up. Okay, let's check out this video. All right, you can see the arm is up, reaching, trying to reach up as high as you can with that right arm, nice and easy, controlled. Hold it for at least a 2 count up top. 6 seconds seems to be a better movement, and then you want to think about pulling the arm down also. Okay. Now this isn't going to be kind of like, you want to give a little bit of resistance on the way down, but nothing strenuous. Okay, like at most 5-ish, 10-ish pounds. Well, I guess technically at most 20. Okay, at most is 20, but in the very beginning it's going to be a lot less than that. All right. But nice and easy, trying to reach up with your own merit, your own strength. But this other hand is here helping and bringing some assistance. Okay, then providing some resistance as you're bringing it back down. Again, the most you're going to want to do is technically 20 pounds, but go out very light at first. Okay, just a little bit of resistance so you can feel the muscles are contracting and pulling. All right. And then last but not least, some neck movement, some side bending. Okay, now it's really important that you have a separation between your neck and your shoulder blade. Okay, let's see. We go back here. Okay, this is a poor example. There's your deltoid that lays on top of your rotator cuff and does a lot of work. But the trunk right here. So check this out. Okay, see that? That's your trap right here. Okay, you see where it attaches to? Attaches onto your shoulder blade. Okay, attaches onto your spine, attaches to your neck. Get this one out. Get that really close. All right. And what it lays on top of there, it's more of a surface muscle. Let's take it away, and look at that. It lays right on top of where your rotator cuff is. Okay, and can try. It does a really bad job, but it can try to kind of do the same thing as rotator cuff is. Okay, so it's really important that we strengthen these cervical muscles, because you see all these cervical muscles? Look at that. They all attach to your shoulder blade also. All right? So they will have some assistance on maintaining stability of your shoulder blade, all right? But you want your shoulder to actually be doing most of the stability on your shoulder blade. But the whole point of me showing you all this and doing all this is just to reiterate that it's really important that you don't lift your shoulder up as you're trying to bring your head down to the side, okay? That you're only using these cervical muscles, okay? That some of them come down and they attach here onto your shoulder blade and your clavicle. But what you don't want is to have your shoulder, like this shoulder right here. So she's coming over here to the left, her left. You don't want this shoulder to be coming up, all right? You're not creating that strengthening and stability of the shoulder blade and the cervical. So the thing is there's no such thing as muscular isolation when it comes to strengthening the body, okay? Doesn't exist. And true stability training, what true stability training is keeping a joint still while another joint around it is moving, okay? So even though the neck muscle is moving and you're doing movement strengthening of the neck, because you're working on keeping the cervical spine still and you're also working on keeping the shoulders still, they are isometrically contracting, which is a great injury prevention, injury correction exercise to rehabilitate the joints. Okay, so even though you're not moving your shoulders, the muscles around the shoulders are going to be strengthening. They're going to be working, they're going to be doing something. Okay, they're just doing it in an isometric way. All right, everything in the shoulder girdle, from the rib cage and the spine all the way up to the neck, is going to be working. The question is it working in movement or is it working in stabilizing? The goal is to make everything at this C7 and down stabilizing, okay, which is a rehabilitative type of exercise for these joints. Step one, right? And then the movement ones are going to be these cervical muscles, okay? So let's check out the video and watch it go in place. So just tilting, okay, so it's not leaning across, it's tilting the head. So you're trying to bring, let's see. So we're trying to bring these muscles right here on the side, okay, straight down, all right? We're not trying to get involved in bringing the whole cervical across. We're just trying to bring in a straight line straight down. Okay, and then you hold it here for at least a 2 count. Maximum would be 6 seconds. I find it more beneficial for 6, and then doing the opposite side. Okay, keeping it balanced here in this one. All right, so in review, the pendulum swings. Okay, we're going to do 3 sets of 10 repetition every direction. Remember, front, back, side to side, clockwise, counterclockwise. Okay, in between each set that you do, so that's like, let's see, so it's 10. Now it's not 10 each direction, it's just 10 total. So forward and back is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, nothing like that. Okay, just total number of repetitions of 10. All right. Start with lightweight, 1 pound, half a pound, can of beans, whatever. And then increasing it, the most that you're going to want to do is 5 pounds. If you can do more than 5 pounds, you really don't need to do the exercise anymore. Okay. 3 sets of 10 every single day. 30 seconds in between each set. All right. Then external rotation, same thing. 3 sets of 10, 30 seconds in between each set here. 10 repetitions at the end range. You want to think about trying to get a little bit further for a 2-second to a 6-second hold. 6 seconds seems to be more beneficial when it comes to increasing range of motion. And again, the uninvolved hand that's holding on to the dowel, okay, any kind of stick, broomstick, dowel, whatever, is beneficial and useful here. Is just giving a little turbo boost at the very end. Okay, assisted flexion to 180. This is where you're reaching all the way back. You're going to be using all the muscles in your arm. At the very end, you're going to be feeling that armpit type of muscle. That's your serratus engaging and helping out. The uninvolved hand that's holding onto this dowel is applying just a little extra turbo boost. When you get to the very end, feeling that armpit muscle flexion or flexing, you want to hold it for at least 2 seconds to up to 6 seconds. Okay, again, 10 repetitions, 30 seconds in between each set. Then bilateral shoulder flexion, same kind of thing, just not isolating just one side, so using both arms. Again, it's really beneficial to kind of have like about 5 pounds of force, kind of pulling both arms away. That'll just activate a lot of the muscles and help get things flexing a lot better. Hold it for 2 seconds to 6 seconds at the very end, feeling that armpit working. The assisted abduction, this is where you're angel winging, bring your arm all the way up and out to the side, using the dowel to help turbo boost a little bit more. 30 seconds in between sets, 10 repetitions, hold it for at least 2 counts at the very end, feeling a nice good pulling from the armpit, the shoulder blade, shoulder, all the above. 2 seconds minimum, hold it for up to 6 seconds is the most beneficial. Seated flexion table slides, okay, 3 sets of 10. Bending down and reaching as far forward as you possibly can, thinking about trying to extend your shoulder, past your ear. That's the ideal movement. Again, on all of these, no sharpshooting pain, just dull and achy at the absolute most. Holding for 2 to 6 seconds at the very end range. And then pulley flexion here for this next one, 3 sets of 10, 30 seconds in between each set. Again, same thing, you're trying to use that involved arm, which is closest to the door, to lift the shoulder, or lift the shoulder, but lift the arm, the hand, up towards the ceiling. Again, the goal is, again, trying to reach up and in one motion, bringing your shoulder up past your ear to try to reach it. Okay, that's the goal. That's not going to happen in the very beginning, but that's the end goal of what you're trying to do. And then applying a little bit of force, bringing it back down, which is what the other arm is helping out with. Okay. Last but not least, cervical side bending, range of motion. Again, really making sure that you're just tilting, not bending. Okay. When you bend, you kind of like bring. See, I just bring my shoulder up. Okay, but when you tilt, you can keep your shoulder down. When you bend, you kind of bring that arm, that shoulder blade up. Okay, so your shoulders are staying down, and you're just tilting, holding it for about 2 to at least 2 seconds, up to 6 seconds. And the other side, same kind of thing. Okay, 10 repetitions, 3 sets, 30 seconds in between each set.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much for making it to the very end. Again, I really hope that you give this video a like if you appreciate the information that I've been giving you and delivering you. If you give the video a like, then more people will be able to find it and we'll be able to help other people rehabilitate their bodies. So I really appreciate you helping me grow this channel. Thanks a lot. And in 4 weeks, we will do phase 2 of getting your rotator cuff fixed and rehabilitated. Talk to you again soon.